What is up, guys? Hope you guys have been doing well. Not gonna lie, I haven't been doing the best myself. I've gotten sick for like most of this month, so been kind of out of commission for a bit, to be honest. And then also dealing with finals and other things like that. But anyways, you know, here we are, ready to play this new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Gacha game. You know, I got access to this. There was like a CBT thing like like last week or whatever. I signed up for it and I was able to get into it. So, you know, here we are now. You know, just gonna check it out, see what it's all about. Pretty excited about it. Gameplay didn't look too crazy. It looked like a mix of like HSR and like Path to Nowhere kind of combat, where you're not really like playing it. It's more so like an auto battle kind of thing, but it looked kind of like Path to Nowhere a little bit, where you have your character models and you can maybe move around or something. Because there are 3D models in this, but it looked alright. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and check it out here. It's been out since like I think like 2 hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago. I did want to stream a little bit earlier, but I was trying to do like a couple videos, and then I was just kind of resting a little bit because, like I said, I'm still pretty sick, coughing quite a bit. But since we are streaming a little bit late, might only stream for like an hour or two. But yeah, we'll check this out. I will say though, pretty cool that there's actually like 3D models or whatever, like 3D cutscenes here. Because, you know, they could easily have done like you know, what is it, like a visual novel, right, where it's just 2D images, PNGs, they're just yapping that way and that's it. But it was actually like 3D models, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about this too, because there hasn't really been any like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure games that have been like that have come to global, you know, especially specifically like Gacha wise. Most of them have only been like JP only, and then they either EOS on JP or that's it, you know, they're only on JP. I remember the first one I ever found out about was Diamond Records. I thought that was pretty cool. I always wanted to play it, but I never got a chance to. Main reason because like it just never came global. Other reason was because I never used like a VPN or anything to try and get it that way. One thing that is interesting though about the CBT is that apparently, if you do decide to spend money in this game, they did say that you will get a 200% like bonus or whatever when the game does launch. So whatever you do buy in the CBT, you'll get like 2% bonus of that when the game does launch. They didn't mention a refund, but the thing is that they didn't really specify in their thing, from what I was from at least what I read, was that if the refund is that 200% bonus, or if the refund is you get the 200% bonus of like the rewards that you bought during the CBT, but then you also get your money back. That's the only thing I'm not too sure about, is if which one it is. Like if the reward is the 200 bonus and then that's it, but you know the money you spent, you know, it was already used up, or if it's both, you know, you get the bonus plus you get a refund. I'm assuming it's probably just you get the bonus and that's your refund, is you get 200% bonus, but I don't know. Am I gonna spend money on the CBT? I don't know, we'll see. There are certain rewards though where they did mention that you won't like get them, so which is like, I'm assuming like different, like if you get like EXP potions maybe, or like oh, you buy this pack you get this character guaranteed. I'm assuming the 200 bonus is going to be specifically like what they said is going to be towards in-game summon currency pretty much. So I don't know, I'm gonna buy a couple packs here and there just to get a little extra fuel for when the game is launched. I do wonder if this game, I feel like this game would probably drop this year though, to be honest. Maybe like a couple more months of maybe fixing bugs up, and then the game might launch. Also kind of nice that the models aren't really, I mean, they're like, you know, they're more 2D here, but at least they're moving, right? In other like games, right, they'd just be like frozen and that's it, or like only have the mouth moving. But here, you know, actually kind of a little motion going on, which is kind of cool. There's also a skip story option, which is pretty cool. But it's kind of cool how we went from like Diamond Records, which was based off part 4, and then there's another one, like I think Aura Overdrive, which I think is based off part 3, and then this one now, which is based off part 5, which is kind of cool. I don't know, I think it's kind of cool how they're kind of basing each new iteration of a JoJo Gacha game based off the parts, where it was like part 4, and then I guess they went back to part 3, and then now this one is based off part 5, so I wonder if we're gonna look at part 6 in the future. Interestingly, so it looks like we have different classes here. So we have like a defender class here. We have a fighter, maybe DPS class. I'm assuming it's probably just more like a melee class kind of thing with the fist. Then we have, it looks like a range kind of character, but then you have a gun here, so I don't know what the difference is between these two. Maybe one's like a support version and one's like a DPS version. And then we have whatever this is. Maybe this is like debuffs, random like skills or effects like that. Maybe is what those weird like symbols over here. It's kind of like a circle or whatever. And then this one over here with the heart, it's probably like a healer most likely. But I'm not too sure what the difference between these two are. But we'll find out probably as we keep playing. And so yeah, it's like an auto, basically auto game where it just plays by itself. Can't do any higher speeds at the moment, and you could pop ultimates whenever you want to. I will say the animations look pretty good though for this kind of gacha game. I mean, it's not like up there with like, you know, some of the best gacha games, but it's pretty good. It's pretty chill. Pretty more average gacha game. Also, I think they do like add some scenes or whatever from the actual anime. In this case, this isn't one of them, but like I think earlier, I think one of those was like a scene straight from the anime, unless this is all straight up like replaced and redone with 3D models. Man, let's say you can't skip everything now. You gotta watch some of this stuff. I'm assuming every JoJo's in this game? I don't know for sure. JoJo's a game? Yeah, JoJo's a game. That is Jotaro. Oh, fighting against Giorno. That happened so fast. What if Dio's a Pokon? I'm a Pokon? What's a Pokon? Never heard of that. Let me see. Pokon, huh? Pokon. What even is that? Is it a ghost? Oh, it's one of those ghosts, huh? From Indonesian folklore. Yeah, it's the ones that like are like wrapped up, no? And then just like we jump or whatever. Oh, I just realized the rest of your name literally said what it is. What can I say? As a gacha gameplay, you know, some of us don't always read all the way. I mean, probably would be kind of scary, not gonna lie, because Dio can fucking shoot lasers out of his head, and especially if we're talking about like, you know, part 1 or part 3, right? You know, talking about part 3 is like a stand as well, right? There's an arena. Oh, there's PvP in this game. Okay, I didn't realize there was PvP. Gacha's gonna be based off what was his name again? Like Darby or something? It was like Darby, right? Good. Oh, what's gonna be my card? Jojo. Oh, alright. Well, I guess if you know your card decks, then I'll figure out. Okay. Wasn't expecting Jiggle in this game. I'll take it though. Guess like it's the part 2 version of Straight 2. Yes sir, Baccio. Oh hey, it's these guys. Or I guess one of them. Oh, Mr. The fuck? Oh, there's the other guy. Basically got almost all the part 5 cast at this point. You're missing like Bruno and like Fuchi, right? The poison guy. Wow, so cool. I'm assuming Bruno would be like an SSR character. Locked in the story. I'm assuming maybe at N3. I did number 3. Swap a Baccio and Giorno. So yeah, because Baccio here is a tank. So it looks like there's what is it? Like you set up your team beforehand and then it just kind of goes from there. Fuck my throat. Next stage. To activate rush mode, we'll need a team of at least 3 characters with different styles. So we only have 2 out of 3. But missed it. And fucking, that's why I'm a JoJo fan. I just forget some names sometimes. What was his name again? I only remember his like attack name, like VO or whatever. Was it like Nana or something? It's like the N, right? I feel like it was like with an N. Botch's ult's about to go ready to go pop off. There's a rush over here. Oh, missed this ready to go. Willovia again. I guess if you just press rush, it just does like, they just do more damage and stuff, I guess. Okay. Main stage combat, each battle limits the number of characters you can deploy. Okay. Do I have access to it? Nope. Stolen one. Oh, it's that stage. I can unlock the 2-speed. Oh. Oh, okay. Not sure what happened there. They kind of just died in a second there. Okay. Didn't really do anything. No enemy. AoE damage. Interesting. So we can see where they would target, basically. Cool. Let's pause some ults. Alright. I'm sure we got this. Oh, some ultimates. I was in summon zone. achievements. Got a key for something. Got dailies as well. Bruno pack. $1 and you get Bruno right away. Sure. Why not? Apparently, we get some goodies out of this. Hold up, let me do this really quick. Alright. I mean, hey, $1 to get Bruno, I'm down. I'm guessing the 200 bonus will be like I get just more summons of this. I'm Groot. Character development. And do more story to figure out what this other stuff is, huh? Oh, that's cool. You can upgrade the artwork if you have more dupes. I guess there's 5 dupes in this game, maybe? Unless it's saying 10 dupes. No, okay. So I guess there's maybe 5 dupes in this game, I'm not sure. You got different passives and skills here, okay. Alright, what's in the... We're gonna summon. Root. Ooh, okay. Get one multi here. Recruit 30 times to get a guaranteed wishlist target SSR character. Can only be recruited with wish tickets. So you can get Caesar, Abdal, or Koichi, huh? Oh, this is the level 1 stand that he gets at the beginning. He's a special type. Landing a basic attack restores 20% of max energy. This effect triggers once every 10 seconds. After 3 characters of different classes unleash their ultimate skills, this character enters rush mode, gaining 25% final damage bonus and a slight energy restoration. Sounds pretty cool. So these are special types, huh? Onomatopoeia to one ally. Deals damage equal to 200% of Koichi's attack per second to all enemies within 2 tiles for 10 seconds. At the end of the duration, you deal damage equal to 400% of his attack to all enemies within this area, and it stuns them for 3 seconds. That sounds that sounds pretty good. What the fuck? At level 2, you increase the damage. Okay, so level 1 is the effect, and then each other level increases the damage, basically. But this is for his ultimate. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, because it does sound pretty good, not gonna lie, having a stun like that. The skill here, you deal AoE damage within 2 tiles around the target. You apply 1 smack. Doesn't say what the smack is though. Enemy wards within 2 tiles. Enemies entering the 2 tile area around smack. Oh, I see. So smack is like just gonna be like an area effect kind of thing. He just like throws it down, like the actual word. And then that word is gonna have the onomatopoeia effect. And then any enemies that are in it within the 2 tile area are gonna be stunned for 3 seconds. And then it expires after it stuns an enemy. And then placement prioritizes the direction of the enemy closest to Koichi on a 4-second cooldown. And then with more dupes, you get a smaller cooldown up to 10 seconds. That's pretty good for 200% damage. This passive here, increase attack and HP by 10%, or max HP. His special attack, basic attacks from allies with the buff have 50% chance to deal additional damage equal to Koichi's attack to all enemies within 1 tile. A lot of AoE stuff going on here. And then increased attribute bonus to 15% and then a 20%. So basically you get level 2, you get 50% attack and max HP. And then at level 3, you get 20% attack and max HP bonus. And then more damage basically. And a higher chance to trigger on Onomapia. The second passive here, ultimate grants 2 stacks of effect hit up. And effect hit up is going to be a buff effect, increase the character's attack speed by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So you can get a 50% attack speed bonus. That sounds pretty good. To one ally. And then when an ally with Onomatopoeia is defeated, immediately trigger Onomatopoeia and you deal damage, AoE damage. But this says you can stack it up to 10 times, right? But then this is saying you only get 2 of these. So I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna be able to really do that quickly then, because it says it only lasts for like 10 seconds too. Third passive. So each character has 3 passives. When you Onomatopoeia does damage, it has a 10% chance to inflict attack down. Reduce the character's attack by 5%. You can stack it up to 10 times. So I guess it's just saying for like the general way that the buff or debuff works in this case is that you can stack it up to 10 times either way, and then the base is 5%. So, but it's just saying, and then you know the actual passive here is just saying how much it would apply, right? Well, you can basically stack this up with other characters that do the same thing, so that we can increase the buff or debuff. You also give them Spirit Influence. They take damage equal to 50% of the Inflictor's attack per second, so it's like a poison kind of debuff. Yeah, it's literally just a poison debuff. Okay. So the gameplay is just like HSR? Yeah, for the most part. It's also kind of like Path to Nowhere a little bit, where you can kind of like move your characters, like if you want some characters to be in the front or in the back or whatever, which does matter a bit, because it'll like also some characters will either attack the enemies on the top or the bottom, and then you want to have like defenders in the front basically. This doesn't really do anything. Then you can see the artwork here. Okay. Yeah, Koichi seems pretty good. Like, he seems like a pretty good character. A lot of AoE stuff going on. He has some buffs, a little bit of debuffs going on. He seems pretty good. What about Abdal here? He's also a special type character. It looks like all special type characters have the same kind of buff here going on, where their basic attacks will restore their max energy, and then after a rush they gain extra damage and a little bit more energy. Interesting. Was the attack the same for Koichi? Let's see. 18.2, 18.4, 19.2. Okay, so the stats differ a little bit between characters. They're like about the same, but like slightly different. Koichi has slightly more HP. And then Abdal has more... No, Abdal just has more stats, so by like a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, what does Abdal do? I'm assuming he's gonna be like a fire DOT character. You also see it's crit rate as well as in this game as well. Gotta love that. Also crit res. What the fuck is a crit factor? So you have crit rate and crit factor. Okay. Debuff proficiency, resilience, damage boost rate, damage reduction rate, accuracy, block rate, block strength, healing bonus, healing received, hit rate, dodge rate, effect hit rate, effect rest, PvP damage reduction. Okay. So there's specifically going to be characters for PvP, I guess, and then skill charge rate. Oh boy. Can't wait for all the whales, huh? Alright, so what does Abdal's ultimate do? So, when he does ultimate, he goes into an enhanced state, unleashing massive fire onks with his basic attacks. Enhanced, so the The next 3 basic attacks deal equal to 800% of his attack and deal 30% splash damage to other enemies within 1 tile around the target. Enhanced basic attacks do not generate energy, and this skill cannot be cast while Avdol is already in enhanced state. And then with more levels, you just get more damage multipliers up to a max at level 4 here for a 1000 and 50% damage splash ratio. Okay. Seems okay. No, nothing too crazy. What's Koichi's again? What's his ultimate? He gives a buff to an ally with the onomatopoeia thing. And then if no ally is in front or the unit is defeated, target the ally with the highest attack. That could be pretty broken if you play that right. Okay. Let's see. Skill. Agnol or Avdol. I don't know why I call him Agnol. Avdol ignites enemies, deals damage equal to 100% of attack to all enemies. So another AoE here. Inflicts a stack. I don't know why they highlighted A. Well, I guess just to highlight that there's just 1 stack. A burn. Burn here is a DOT debuff. Take damage equal to 50% of inflictor's attack for 10 seconds. You can stack it up to 10 times though. So you could get 150% DOT damage over 10 seconds if you have like 10 stacks. For each stack of burn that the target has, they take an additional 20% of Avdol's attack. Upon casting this skill, Avdol restores 30 energy for each burning enemy, which is the effect of like when they get the burn debuff. And then 14-second cooldown. So it looks like most of these cooldowns so far, at least there's going to be 14. There are more levels here. Cooldown gets reduced to 10 seconds. That seems to be the same, and then just more damage basically. But this skill basically just does AoE damage, and then you inflict 1 burn to an enemy, which is going to just DOT them for 10 seconds. And then if you have any more burns, you get an extra 20% damage dealt. His first passive here, he increases attack and max HP by 10%. And then when this character is in a battle, all enemies take 10% more burn damage. That's pretty cool. So you wanna, it looks like you wanna have him for burn teams pretty much. So that's gonna be pretty good. Just general, just so that way if you have any other burn characters and they apply burn, the burn's gonna deal more damage. That's pretty good. His second passive here, his stand binds enemies with a flame woven rope. Enhanced basic attacks have 60% chance to immobilize the target for 1 second and inflict 1 burn stack. Okay, that's pretty good. If you do that with his ultimate, right, he's going to be in enhanced state. He has a pretty good chance to stun them for 1 second, right? But he does have 3 attacks, so technically it can go up to 3 seconds if he gets lucky those 3 times. And he can inflict an extra 3 stacks and burn. And then if you have level 3 dupes, or I actually don't know if this is dupes, but if you bring it up to level 3, it's going to be an 80% chance to stun a character or an enemy basically for 1 second. So almost guaranteed. Not too bad. His last passive here, his third one. After casting in the ultimate, Avdol summons several lifeform detectors around him. Okay. Avdol gains 5 stacks of damage up. Increase the character's damage by 5%. Stacking up to 10 times, so you can get 50% damage buff. But he gets 5 of these stacks, right? So that means he's going to get at least 25% damage up. Yeah, 25% damage up for 10 seconds. So that's pretty good. And then moreover, he deals 10% more AoE damage, and his attacks deal splash damage within 1 tile for 2 seconds. So we go back to the ultimate, right? 30% splash damage, and then with this one, I guess that'll be bumped up to 40% splash damage. And then his attacks deal splash damage within 1 tile for 2 seconds. And then with more levels here, you increase the seconds here for up to the maximum of 6. I mean, seems not too bad. I mean, I'll be honest, I think Koishi's a little bit better. I don't know, he seems a little bit better to me, but I mean, this Avdol's not bad. Like, specifically going off this one passive, he's pretty good for burn teams, but I think for any other generic teams, he seems kind of okay. Not super crazy to me. Yeah, it seems like an alright character. More so like just for burn teams, really. Alright, last guy we got here is Caesar. Caesar has the most amount of attack compared to these guys because they're 18.4, 18.2, 19, almost 20. And then I think his HP is the weakest. Yeah, his HP is like the smallest amount. But he is a range type. So range types here deal 5% more damage for every 1 tile of distance from the target. So you want them to be like all the way in the back basically. And then after 3 characters of different classes unleash their ultimate skills, when he goes into rush mode, he gains 25%. So it looks like, I guess every character has the same effect for rush, for the second, yeah, for the rush part, where they just get more damage, because 25% final damage, it's like energy restoration. Abdal's is the same thing, 25% final damage. Koichi is also the same thing, final damage, yeah, so looks like the rush thing is going to always be the same. It's just that the actual whatever archetype the character is will change, will differ a little bit, right? All right, ultimate here. We have 2 versions here, which is interesting. So you have bubble lenses and then bubble cutter gliding. Okay, let's take a look at bubble lenses first. So Caesar's basic attack ricochets up to 5 times, dealing damage equal to 40% of attack to other enemies within 2 tiles around the target. So okay, it's gonna like bounce around. And then when you cast the ultimate, well, I mean, this is kind of the ultimate, but oh, I see. So whenever you do the ultimate, I guess his basic attacks like get this extra effect here. And then when the ultimate's cast, unless it's just saying like this is how he just generally attacks, and then this is the ultimate part. Hold on, let me just check something. Is that the same thing as Koichi? No, it's different. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Game name? It's was it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Spirit? It should be in the title of the stream. It should be there. It's not available to like download for everybody because right now I'm playing the closed beta test. But the actual release should be like a little bit later. Everyone get in the car. Bro, I swear, I love that fucking meme. That meme was so fucking funny, man. Everyone get in the car now, we're leaving this town. Oh no! Wait, this is my car as a fence. That meme's great, man. Let's see what else. So let's see, when Caesar does his ultimate, he fires a volley of Hamon bubbles towards the target, dealing damage equal to 200% of his attack to the target and other enemies within 2 tiles. So like low-key AoE. Bubbles reflect light, dealing damage equal to 100% of attack per second to special units, which are considered vampires and zombies. Okay, interesting. What if that means maybe there's gonna be a character that can just summon vampires and zombies or something, or convert? That's pretty cool, I guess. Maybe he might be more like a story mode character. Maybe that's how the Caesar's gonna be played, as a story mode character. Yeah, because he deals more damage to like a lot more damage to these special units within the range for the next 3 seconds, and then for every 1 enemy hit by this skill, Caesar gains 1 stack of attack speed up, which is the same thing of 5% base, can go up to a max of 10 times, so 50% at max attack speed. And then if you add more levels to this, the ricochet damage gets increased, bubble volley damage gets increased as well, and also the additional damage to special enemies going to a max of 160. Okay, not too bad. Just general, a little bit of AoE, pretty good damage, and attack speed pretty much. Now bubble cutter gliding here. Let's see. So now Caesar's basic attacks unleash penetrating bubbles that spin into high-speed discs, so they're going to go through enemies instead of like bouncing around. Each basic attack deals damage equal to 180% of attack to all enemies on its path, and has 50% chance to leave a bubble at the target's location. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure what that bubble is going to do exactly. Unless it's going to like ricochet off the bubble, I don't know. Start Platinum better than King Crimson? I mean, maybe? I think that would be more of like whoever gets their standout first. And whoever understands, yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on who goes first. Because if it was Diavolo goes first, then he'd probably win. If it was Jotaro, Jotaro would probably win. Let's see. So when you do the ultimate, Caesar recalls all bubbles, each dealing damage based. Oh, he recalls. Oh, okay. So that's, I see. So when you leave the bubble, it's gonna stay there. You pop the ultimate, all the bubbles from where the tiles were are gonna come back to Caesar, dealing damage based on the number of bubbles attached to the enemies in a straight line between Caesar and his target. That's pretty cool. For every 2 bubbles recalled, Caesar gains a stack of attack speed, so you can technically get a lot more attack speed from this if you play your cards right, like, you know, depending on how characters are lined up. And then each bubble deals damage equal to 90% of Caesar's attack to all enemies along the path. Low key, I feel like Bubble Cutter is a little bit better, and I feel like it might be better in PvP. And this was more of like a PvE skill, and then like probably your go-to if you're going to be running it, if you know you're going to be fighting vampires or zombies. Otherwise, you might want to stick to Bubble Cutter. I feel like Bubble Cutter is a little bit better, low-key. I don't know, it just seems a little bit better to me. I mean, the ricochet is cool, but I think having the bubbles and then bringing them all towards you, especially if you're able to line it up correctly, could be pretty strong. Star Platinum can punch the crap out of Diavolo. Too bad these stats couldn't save Caesar from Wamu. I know, right? But hey, you know, it still worked out. And then with more levels here, you get more basic attack damage up to 220 of attack, and bubble trigger chance go to 80%, which the original effect is 50% chance to leave a bubble, so pretty good. And then you deal more damage when the bubbles are recalled. Yeah, I don't know. I think Bubble Clutter is a little bit better than the Bubble ones, but Bubble ones is pretty good, especially for fighting against, you know, zombies or vampires. And the Ricochet is pretty cool, but overall, I think low-key Bubble Cutter is a tiny bit better. Alright, first skill here, Bubble Barrier. Caesar creates a massive bubble enveloping enemies within it and dealing damage equal to 400% of his attack. That's pretty strong. This attack has 80% chance to stun them for 3 seconds. Kind of seeing a bit of a pattern here too. So it looks like, so far from what I've seen, stun will always generally be like a max cap of 3 seconds. And then following his attack, Caesar gets 2 stacks of attack speed, so another way for him to get more attack speed, so that's pretty cool. And the more dupes, you reduce the cooldown, but in this case it only goes up to 16 seconds instead of like 10 seconds like we've seen before. Then you increase the damage of N%. I'm not sure. I'm assuming N% is probably this one. The attack has 8% chance. Let's no, this one's probably gonna be the, yeah, this, I guess. I don't know what. I guess this is probably, yeah. So I'm assuming this probably be, so it goes 400, 450, probably 500%, but they put an N by accident. And then immobilized chance goes to 100% instead of 80% chance. Pretty cool. But unless, wait, unless, no, okay, yeah, no. It should probably be like 500%. I thought these two were a little bit different. No, but these are the same. Okay. I mean, yeah, seems alright. Basically get a stun, which is pretty cool. And then you get more attack speed. Seems pretty good to me. Why not? Alright, the human spirit. Next line is, you are not Joseph Joestar, bro. Yeah, true. I'm not. Different kind of Joestar. Again, with the same thing. Attack and max HP by 10%. Whenever you get a buff from any ally except himself, you get another attack speed buff. Pretty cool. It can only happen every 3 seconds. So it could just be any general buff and it will get an attack speed up. Pretty cool. Second passive here. Special effect, the basic attacks deal additional damage equal to 40% of attack. All attacks against vampires and zombies deal additional damage equal to 2% of the target's current HP. The additional damage is capped at 100% of the character's attack. Okay. And then with more levels here, increase general additional damage to 50% from 40%. And then additional damage against special units equal to 4% instead of 2%. Okay. So going back to the whole, my little theory that this Caesar is going to be more of like a PvE character, it's kind of playing a bit into that as well. But who knows, maybe he might be really good in PvP too. His third passive here will restore 100% or 100 energy at the beginning of each battle. For every 1 stack of attack speed up, Caesar has his basic attacks, or his basic attacks now have a 5% chance to trigger the special effect one time. Special effect. So is it saying that he has a 5% chance to give himself 100 energy back? I'm assuming that's what that means. Because I don't know what else would be this special effect here. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just saying that he's just gonna give himself a 5% chance to it restores energy here. And then with more levels here, you can get up to 200 energy restoration. And then his chance to trigger it will jump up to 15%. Seems pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, honestly, the way I'm looking at it, Koichi number 1, Caesar, and then Avdol. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now for who would be the most valuable. That's kind of how I see it so far, personally. I think Caesar's going to be a great PvE character. Koichi's like so far the best character. I think he's going to be good in both PvP and PvE. And then Avdol, I don't really know yet. I need to see the other characters in the game first. But Avdol seems like not bad. Maybe more of a PvP character, but definitely more of like you kind of need like a full fire team that is applying burn to really make him like really good. Otherwise, he's just kind of, it's all right. And then Caesar's like a little bit better, especially for PvE content. Well, you're probably going to be fighting these zombies or vampires. Getting a significant damage buff. I think he's going to be really good for PvE content. And then Koichi, I feel like, is just overall, all around, going to be good for both pieces of the pie, you know, both pieces of the PvE and PvP. Alright, let's see, regular, there's no like special banner, which I guess it makes sense, right? It's just CBT. So there's 180 pity in this game for SSR character you can choose. So there's also SSR characters we got in the game. Okay, decent bunch here. I see they're kind of holding off on some of the Joestars. It makes sense, I guess, right? I do wonder if Giorno is actually like free. I'm assuming he is, because I mean he's playable, right? Like I have him, but like I don't know like when that game actually launches if he's gonna be like everybody has him like as the starter character or or like what, you know. But we got Bruno here, which I already have because I bought him with the $1 pack. We got what's this guy? Prosciutto. We also have Diavolo. We got Chigoloda. We got Foo Fighters. Love Foo Fighters, so when am I getting her? We also have Hermes. Or Hermes. So we got two characters from two supporting characters from JoJo Part 6. Got the main villain here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the rest of these guys do as well. Starting off with Giorno. So Giorno is a support type character, which makes sense, right? We'll probably get a DPS version of Giorno or the special version, whatever it's called, special type. Whenever we get his, you know, when he gets stabbed with the arrows, awakened form. So when any allies HP falls below 30%, immediately heal them for 10% of the max HP. This effect can trigger every 10 seconds. And then in his rush, he gets the same thing, 25% damage bonus and a slight energy restoration. That's pretty cool. 17, wait, is that? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's weaker, right? Because I think, yeah, so healer's gonna be a little bit more weaker in terms of attack, but 224, HP is pretty high, 224, defense is 589, 53, 53, 55, okay. So healers are gonna have a bit more HP, a bit more defense, but like weaker, like by like 2,000 to 3,000 less attack, pretty much here. Giorno has two ultimates. I wonder how, I guess you can maybe choose between the two, which ultimate you want. Maybe like before you start a fight, you can choose which ultimate you want, maybe. Let's see, so we got life curation here. Giorno heals the ally with the lowest HP percentage within 3,000 or 50% of Giorno's max HP, and you give them regeneration. When this effect expires or when this character's HP drops below 30%, you restore HP equal to 30% of Giorno's max HP, and this effect will last for 5 seconds. With the more levels, you can increase HP restoration to a max of 70% and then your regeneration to 50%. And then we have Consciousness Rampage. Let's see, Giorno strikes the target with his golden wind, injecting his excess life energy that causes the target's consciousness to go on a rampage. You deal damage equal to 1,600% of his attack. That's quite high compared to some other characters I've seen so far. And it has a 70% chance to stun a character or incapacitate them, so they can't do anything. So like I said, basically just a stun. The target for 5 seconds. Okay, that's the highest we've seen so far for stun. Now 5 seconds instead of 3. Oh, and they take 40% more damage. That's pretty cool. Okay. I wonder if that's specifically whenever they're currently incapacitated, or like you pop it on them and then they're even after they're incapacitated, they'll still take the 40% more damage. Because it does say incapacitated target takes 40% more damage, but it doesn't say like for over like 5 seconds or anything like that, you know? Because if it's forever, that's pretty cool. But I'm assuming it's probably just for 5 seconds here. And then at level 4, you are guaranteed to stun them for 5 seconds, and then you deal 2,000 damage instead of 1,600. So pretty cool. I like what I'm seeing so far. Giorno employed with the skill here for skill employs the power of Golden Wind to heal the ally with the lowest HP percentage within 3 tiles for 35% of Giorno's max HP. You give them 2 stacks of healing up, which increases their healing received by 5% up to 50% for 10 seconds, 14-second cooldown, and then you basically just increase the stats up to 45%. Not too bad. Then we got his passive here. First one, life energy detection, increase max HP and attack again by 10%. You restore energy for all allies at the beginning of each battle, and then you restore energy for all allies upon casting a skill. Okay, so you can get like 200 pretty quick. I mean, let me see. I guess technically the skill wouldn't work until a character's HP is about, 35%. I mean, I don't know. I guess, yeah, so until someone loses HP, then Giorno can pop the skill, and then you can get 200% energy regen. And then you can get up to a max of 200 energy regen, so you can get up to... Oh, this is for the... at the beginning of each battle. So you can get up to 300. So you can get... This can become 200 here at the beginning, and then you get an extra 100 here, so 300 total. Pretty cool. Passive 2, Reflective Shield. While casting a skill, Giorno generates a shield equal to 40% of Giorno's max HP for 5 seconds. Okay, there's a shield, it's cool. When the shield is activated, the shielded ally gains damage reflection. So when attacked, this character takes 20% less damage and deals damage equal to 100% of Giorno's attack to an attacker. So you don't send the damage right back to the attacker, you're just taking less damage, and then you're able to deal a little bit more damage to the person who's attacking based on Giorno's attack. And then when the shield is destroyed, you lose your damage reflection as well. Oh. I cannot talk without fucking coughing. Fuck me. Let's see, Golden Growth, passive 3. Giorno's ultimate also restores the target ally's energy by 200. A lot of fucking energy regen going on with this Giorno. And then with 3 levels here, you can get up to 300. So at the beginning of the battle, you could get at level 3, 300 here. Up ultimate, 600. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Give me a second, let me get a cough launcher thing really quick. I'm gonna... It's about 30 now. Alright. Oh, yeah, Giorno seems pretty good, not gonna lie. As if, especially if he's like a free character that we get. Like that we do have. He's real good. Bruno. Agility type, so that's what that is. Targets the enemy in the counterpart position at the beginning of each battle. Fuck a counterpart position. You gain 5% crit rate bonus when not targeted by any enemy. When your HP falls below 60%, immediately enters 3 seconds of stealth after being attacked. What the fuck? This is gonna be really good. 10-second cooldown though. And then the rush is still the same. Okay. Which character? Range still does more damage. Stats wise. HP, oh, a little bit higher. Wait. 200 crit res. 700 crit res. What the fuck? Okay. So looks like stats are going to be different too here as well. 100% hit rate. That is terrible. He doesn't have any accuracy, but Caesar does. Diva precision is 2%. 2% in there. Hit rate 100. Crit boost 900. Crit factor 200%. Crit res 0. Okay. So based off the archetypes, characters will also have different stats here as well. Okay. Skill charge rate. So these guys, special types have skill charge rate, but so far nobody else does. Like healers don't have it, rangers don't have it, and agility types don't have it. Okay. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at the skills here for the ultimate. We have unzip the zipper and zipper space. Let's see, open the zipper on the target dealing damage equal to 1,100 attack. Okay, that's a lot. 80% chance to stun target for 2 seconds. This skill also removes all buffs from target. That's pretty good. Okay. Level 4, 100% chance to stun. 2200 attack. Zipper Space. Zipperman creates a spatial rift, trapping the target inside. Deal damage equal to 1800 of attack. Removes the target from the battlefield for 5 seconds. Okay. If the target is the last enemy on the battlefield, this skill does not remove them, but instead deals additional damage equal to 400% of attack. The removed unit cannot be targeted while in the special rift. However, any damage over time effects on the unit still take effect. You combo this guy with the DOT character, wherever he traps is going to be pretty fucked. Pretty fucked. What are you using to access this CPT? My code that they gave me because I signed up. I was one of the lucky people that got in, so I was like, hey, hell yeah, let's go. Let's see, skill here, zipper shuttle, which already dives into the ground through his zipper portal, right toward the target from up 8 tiles away. Okay. Then deals damage with 600% of attack and inflicts 2 stacks of effect res down. So that can be like debuffed a little bit easier probably. Man, I didn't know it was close beta going on. Congrats on getting in, by the way. Yeah, thank you. Following the skill, Buchardi appears behind his target. Okay. So if you put him like maybe like in the very front or a couple tiles behind, if you like, you know, match the tiles right, you could have him like target like a healer character or support character. He'll go attack him from behind. Could be pretty good. Okay. So I guess agility types are characters that are going to like try to go behind the enemy lines and attack him from behind. I guess is how agility is going to work. Plus they have a stealth mechanic as well. Okay. You're going to want a good tank though, because whenever they're not targeted, they get an extra crit rate as well. Passive here. Usual max attack and max HP, but 10%. At the beginning of each battle, you get into stealth. As long as there are no other non-stealth allies on the battlefield, this character will not be prioritized for end seconds, which says 21 seconds here. Special effect: while in stealth, basic attacks reduce the target's energy by 100. That's pretty good. Yeah, you put this Bruno on your team, you have him target a healer or support character, you're gonna be screwing over their energy regen. They're not gonna be able to pop off their ultimate. That's pretty good. This Bruno's for sure 100% gonna be used in PvP. No doubt about it. Already seeing his camp. Gonna be one of the best characters in PvP so far, in my opinion. I think he's gonna be one of the better ones. Like so far to me, he seems pretty good. Just in general, I think he's gonna be good in both pieces of content. Maybe a little bit more in PvP though. Well, that's pretty good. Extended strike, passive 2. Extends basic attack energy range by 1. After every 4 basic attacks, the next basic attack deals an additional damage of 100% of attack and 25% chance to silence the target. So basically, silence is they can't use any skills, but they can still use their basic attacks for 3 seconds. Could be pretty good if you time it right, but it is 25% chance going up to 45% chance at level 3. It's alright. Could be pretty good though. I mean, it's not bad, it's pretty good. It's just that 25% chance is a little bit low. Otherwise, you're just getting a bit more damage and a bit more range. So, I mean, that's pretty good, right? Passive 3. The ultimate extends the duration of all debuffs on the target by 5 seconds. That could be really fucking good. And 2 stacks of damage amplification. Increase the character's damage taken by 5% for 10 seconds. So you get 10% damage increase. And with more levels, you can increase the debuff extension to 8 seconds. So, yeah, Bruno's pretty good. Is this game like a turn-based strategy game, or is it like a third-party game where you can control your character? The first option. It's like HSR, or Path of Nowhere. You put your characters down with whatever order you want, you think it's gonna work out, and then they just auto battle pretty much. And then you can just, and the only thing you can do is choose when you want to use their ultimates, but there's an auto mode, so you could, the auto mode will probably do that for you if you want. But the only like real gameplay you're doing is just deciding when you do your ultimates, whenever they're ready, and then pressing like a button that says rush mode, where your characters will just kind of all attack, and then they'll do like more stuff, basically more damage. All right, pretty cool. Yeah, Bruno seems pretty good. Got so many more characters to look through. Hey, you're welcome. Prosciutto. Let's see, assault type. So, when HP is below 40%, landing a basic attack restores HP to 150. Okay, so it can heal himself. This effect triggers every 10 seconds. After 3 character, yeah, the rush mode's still the same. 17.5 attack. So he's about the same attack as Giorno here, interestingly enough. What about his HP? 233 and then 546. So he has more HP than Giorno, but a little bit less defense. Interesting. But his attack isn't super high. Okay, ultimate here. Debuff and AoE. Thankful Death unleashes his full power for the next 5 seconds. You deal damage equal to 110% of attack to all enemies. And 60% chance to inflict 1 stack of senility. Reduces this character's attack and defense by 2% for 10 seconds up to 10 times. So you can get 20% attack reduction and defense reduction. All stacks will be removed when Prosciutto is dead. Okay. Oh, I just realized. If you do activate senility here. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, like, if you activate it, it doesn't go away, but then here it says 10 seconds. Unless it is... Actually, I don't know. Because here it doesn't say that it goes away. Like, it doesn't say, oh, you get the stacks of whatever state for 5 seconds. No, this just says you inflict 1 stack. But then it's just saying the effect only lasts for 10 seconds. So I'm not too sure. Not sure if this is permanent or not. Okay. It's okay. Nothing too crazy so far. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like defense reduction like is that crazy, but seems okay. His skill here is single target debuff. So whenever his stand touches an enemy, you deal damage equal to 300% of attack, inflicting 3 stacks of senility. Remove 1 buff from target. That's pretty good. Every 15 seconds up to level 3 to 10 seconds. Passive 1, I'll kill him. Same thing, attack and max HP. You inflict another stack of senility on all enemies at the beginning of each battle. That's pretty cool. So guaranteed everybody will have 2% attack and defense reduction. And then if you have this at level 3, you can increase it to level 3, so then they'll have 6% attack and defense reduction at the beginning of each battle. That's pretty good. Passive 2. Whenever he attacks an enemy with at least 1 stack of senility, which is going to be guaranteed because it'll be at the beginning of each battle, their HP is below, and if their HP is below 100% of Prosciutto's attack, he immediately executes them. What? Wait, what? I mean, on paper it sounds cool, right? But in theory, it's probably not going to be as broken as it sounds. This is going to 100% be more for like probably PvE content where it's like a really weak enemy. He can one-shot them. But I mean, that sounds pretty cool though. He can just one-shot enemies if they at least have one side ability, which is guaranteed to happen because he's applying it with his passive 1. And then he just needs to have more attack than them. Mind you, right, his attack's a little bit on the weaker side, so you have to build that up, but whenever that happens, that's pretty cool. He'll be able to just one-shot enemies. So pretty good for PvE content. Last passive here, victories in your hands. Serenity lasts for another 3 seconds after Prosciutto is defeated, and then the countdown begins upon Prosciutto's defeat. I mean, it's not bad. It just means his debuff lasts a little bit longer. But overall, it's okay. Not too crazy. He does also have a skill charge rate too, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean... Oh, he has a crit boost of 900 and crit factor of 200%. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I need to take a piss real quick, so I'll be right back, guys. I'll take a look at more of these characters. Alrighty, sorry for the wait, guys. Putting a little bit of like vapor rub. See if that helps a little bit. It helped that out a little bit earlier, but see, it doesn't need help right now. Oh, my throat's killing me. Mainly because the coughs. Okay. So Diavolo here Pretty cool artwork. What does this guy do? Shut him up for a bit. AoE skill, a version of his ultimate, and a single target version. So time erasure, AoE version. You teleport. Oh, hold on. What was he again? Oh, he's another agility type as well. So he has the whole stealth mechanic, and then crit whenever he's not being targeted. Okay. So he teleports behind the target, strikes all enemies with a 1 tile. You deal damage equal to 1000% of his attack. Then activates the time erasure ability, becoming unselectable for 2 seconds. Cannot be targeted by any unit attacks or skills. Okay, that's pretty good. Damage is a little bit on the weaker side, but I mean, like, not being able to be like touched at all by anything is kind of busted. So that's pretty cool. His ultimate here, finished now. Release a deadly hand strike, dealing damage equal to 1100% of attack. If the target is isolated, when there are no allies with a 1 tile, you deal additional damage equal to 30% of the target's missing HP. The damage from missing HP is capped at 500% of Diavolo's attack. So he does a fuck ton of damage, single target, because this is the amount of Bruno does, I think. That's a lot of damage. You can play this on PC. Nice. How'd you get it? By setting up for the CBT. And technically it's not PC. I'm just playing through like an emulator right now. Because it's a little bit better. I like playing it more so on like my PC, and then also it's a little bit easier to stream this way. Let me see. I have ASBR, but I really want this too. ASBR. What's that one? It's not are you talking about like Gacha games, or are you talking about like an actual JoJo game? Cause I know there's Aura Overdrive, and then there's Diamond Records, which is the one that I kind of got into in terms of like finding out about like JoJo's Gacha games and stuff. It's a JoJo game? Ah, okay, gotcha. I mean, this is gonna come out probably this year. All-Star Battle. Okay, I gotcha. I see now. But yeah, this game should probably come out, or this Gacha game will come out probably, what is it, like later this year, I'd imagine, because you can do in-game purchases. So I'm imagining this game's gonna probably come out pretty soon, like at least this year, maybe next year. But I feel like it'd probably come out later this year, to be honest. Also, currently I'm sick, so I'm fucking dying right now. Let's see. At level 4, you deal 2,200 attack, so way more fucking damage. And then you deal a lot more additional damage to isolated enemies. So this one here is for like insta kill, maybe for bosses probably. You maybe use this for like a boss. Do a lot of damage. And then the time erasure one is maybe for anything where you're doing like, you're fighting against a lot of enemies. Or maybe for PvP, where you have the unselectable effect. So, I mean, I think Finish Now could be pretty good in PvP as well. But I feel this is more for like, if you have bosses, this could be pretty good for that too. But I feel like Time Erasure could be a bit better for PvP content. Just because the AoE factor of it. But who knows, maybe in some cases, you may want to do the Finish Now one where you deal a fuck ton more damage if the enemy is isolated. But I feel like the time erasure can be a little better for PvP content, and anything that, like, you know, there's a lot more enemies around. Unavoidable Blow, single target debuff skill. You instantly teleport to the target. Diavolo dashes towards his target from 5 tiles away. You deal damage equal to 200% of its attack and inflict 10 stacks of grievous wound. Reduce the character's healing received by 5% for 10 seconds. So basically would screw any teams that have a healer, basically, whoever gets attacked by this. Maybe not screw them over completely, but like, you know, I mean, you're literally doing 50% reduced healing for 10 seconds, so it's pretty strong. Following the skill, Diavolo appears behind his target. So teleport, deal damage, do the debuff, then you go behind the enemy. and then you deal more damage, and then gets reduced in 10 seconds. Okay, it's pretty good. Mysterious Boss, same thing again. Attack and max HP increase. At the beginning of each battle, enter stealth state for 10 seconds. Also pretty good. Okay, so he's not gonna be able to get targeted, pretty much, if you don't have any other stealth characters. And then whenever Diavolo deals damage while he's in stealth, you deal an additional damage equal to 100% of the attack to the target. So you pair this with his skill here, 300% attack there, with the stealth. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good right there. Works really well. The only results remain: attacks against isolated enemies penetrate 4% of their defense, and restore 50 energy for Diavolo. Mind you, right, it says attacks, right? So if you do multiple attacks, you could restore potentially 50, one hit, another hit, 100, 3 hits, 150, 4 hits, 200. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so you can restore a lot of energy pretty quickly then if he does a lot of hits. I'm not sure if the defense penetration is going to be like, that's one thing. Some games, like, defense matters like a lot, it's really good, and then other games just kind of whatever. I wonder how it is going to be for this game though, because he does have defense penetration, so maybe defense might be a little bit better than what I thought it was in this game. But first defense penetration character that I've seen. Now and forevermore. Passive 3, upon casting a skill, gain 2 stacks of damage resistance. So he basically takes 5% less damage, in this case 10% less damage for 10 seconds. He can make a target isolated for 6 seconds, so he can force isolate a character. During this period, the isolated state cannot be dispelled. So guaranteed, no matter what, he can force isolate somebody and get the damage increase and all that good stuff going on whenever he pops his skill. What the fuck? That's good. Yeah, this Diavolo seems pretty cracked to me. He seems really fucking good. Really good character. Yeah, I think he is really good. I think he's gonna be getting both PvP and PvE content. He's really fucking good. Really good character. Alright, Chicoloda. It's another special type character. Basic attack restores max energy. Alright, what does this pickle guy do? Deals damage equal to 20% of attack to all enemies. Let's see, it's AoE debuff skill. 60% base chance to inflict 5 stacks of mold infection. 20% of inflictor's attack per 20 seconds up to 10 times. So you can get up to 200% damage for 20 seconds per second. That's a lot of damage if you hit those max stacks. In this case, it's going to be 5 stacks, so it's going to be 100% attack for 20 seconds. It's pretty good. Enemies with mold infection take additional damage equal to 200% of a Chicoloda's attack. When Chicoloda is defeated, all mold infections are immediately removed. And then if you have more levels here, you can get a higher chance of mold infection here, where the base one is 60% chance. So not 100 but 80% chance. More damage, and then more damage. I mean, yeah, seems pretty good. Not like super busted or anything, but I mean, seems like a pretty good debuff skill. Just they take more damage basically. Alright, his skill here, it's another AoE debuff skill, spread mold. Chicoloda spreads mold spores, dealing damage equal to 300% of attack to all enemies within 1 tile around the target. You inflict 2 stacks of effect res down. That's going to be pretty useful for him. On them, and then refresh the duration of their mold infection effects. Okay. So it goes from 20 seconds back, and then if it goes to like 10 seconds, it's going to go back up to 20. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah. Seems like a decently pretty good skill, I'd say, for the most part. I guess only one downside is that it does have to be within 1 tile of the target, but I think it should be fine. Passive 1 here, mold infestation, usual attack and max HP. When Chicoloda is in battle, whenever an enemy is affected by any crowd control effect, or CC, so I'm guessing like any stun effect basically, Chicoloda has a 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of mold infection on that enemy. up to a max of 40% chance at level 3. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. It doesn't seem like super crazy. Just like, hey, you have a chance of getting given an extra mold infection stack. Otherwise, it's kind of whatever. All right, next one we got here. Mold-ridden corpse, passive 2. When an enemy is affected by mold infection, when they're defeated, he gets 100% energy, or he restores 100 energy, and has a 20% chance to inflict 1 stack of mold infection on other enemies within 2 tiles of that defeated enemy. That sounds pretty nice. Low chance though, 20%, 30% at level 3. So yeah, his chances are pretty low, but I mean, to be fair, I guess it's fair because his mold infection does a fuck ton of damage. It can go up to like 200%, and it lasts for a long time, 20 seconds. So I guess it's fair why his chances are so low, because if it was basically guaranteed, he would be doing a ton of damage really easily, right? But yeah, so far he seems probably like a really high tier DOT character if you're able to get those chances to work in your favor. All right, his last one here, passive 3, Despair Reversed. Upon taking fatal damage, Chikoloto uses Mold to stitch his body back together, instantly restoring 500 energy and gaining happiness for 5 seconds. Prevents this character's HP from falling below however percent for however many seconds. So for 5 seconds, he doesn't lose his HP. Once this effect expires, he leaves the battlefield. This effect only triggers 1 time per battle. So basically, he cannot die for 5 seconds after this is used, and he could probably pop his ultimate after this, most likely. And then if you get up to level 3, he can stay alive for 8 more or up to 8 seconds. I mean, yeah, that seems pretty good. Could probably work in some cases where maybe an enemy tries to focus him, they kill him, he still stays alive. Maybe I mean, if an enemy has like a DLO move where they try to one-shot him, he can take the hit, still stay alive, and then the enemy basically wasted their ultimate, right? Because they would, like, you know, try to target him. He would take the brunt of the damage. He would survive for 5 seconds and basically pop his ultimate, and then your other characters on your team would survive. So yeah, I mean, definitely could use like as a bait and switch character. He could be pretty good for that. So I'd say yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, and I see each character has different range here. So basic attacks for the Chikoloto here have a range of 4. Attacks with range greater than 1 are considered range attacks. Okay, so he has so he's technically like a range character because he has a stand, right? So his is 4. Caesar is 8. Abdal is 6. Luigi's 4. Giorno is 3. Bruno is 1, so he has no, so he's only physical. I mean, not physical, he's only melee, he's no ranged. But I mean, this one increases his range by 1, so technically he gets 1 ranged move from this. And then this guy is also 1 as well, but does he have a tile increase as well? I don't remember if he does. No, he doesn't. So this guy's specifically only he's only melee, no range there. Okay, I mean, yeah, I'd say overall it's not too bad. He could definitely have his uses, especially in PvP for baiting ultimates and stuff, because he doesn't die. So could be a pretty good character to have. I think for general content he's kind of okay. He could be pretty good because his damage multiplier, his like max cap is pretty strong, but his multipliers for that happening is pretty weak. But I think he's like a decent character. He's not too bad. All right, Foo Fighters, another ranged character. She's also has a range of 8. Pretty high attack too, 19.4, 19.2, slightly more than Caesar here. But of course, probably weak stats for HP and the defense, right? All right, what does my girl Foo Fighters do? So Foo Fighters spawns a plankton colony in front of the target. The plankton colony lasts for the rest of the battle. Interesting. If there is already a plankton colony on the battlefield, heals it for 40% of max HP instead, and applies 1 stack of microplankton to all units within 1 tile. It's a debuff. You take damage equal to N% of the attacker's attack per second. For 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. Okay. Let's see, and then Plankton Colony has a portion of Foo Fighters attributes. Probably her stats, right? It is automatically seeks enemies and prioritizes attacking Foo Fighters' current target. The Plankton Colony only uses basic attacks, dealing damage equal to 100% of attack. Its attacks do not trigger any extra skill effects from Foo Fighters' equipped badges. Not sure what that is. And the more dupes you have, the more you can heal it, basically, whenever you redo the ultimate. I mean, yeah. I wonder how many of these little guys you can spawn in, but so far, seems pretty cool. Alright. Skill here, Foo Fighter ammo, single target debuff skill. Let's see, Foo Fighters fires FF bullets to at the target. Deal damage equal to 220% of attack and inflict 3 stacks of microplankton. And then if the target is affected by dampness, what the heck is dampness? Reduce effect res by 30%. What the heck? That was really strong. 30% effect res reduction for 10 seconds. Microplankton again, okay. So if they're affected by both of these, I guess, then you deal more damage by 40% attack per second. Okay. And then more damage at level 3. I mean, yeah, so far that's pretty good. I think just because of the dampness, that makes the skill pretty good. I mean, okay, well, I say that, but she's not applying it, right? That's just saying she gets more damage if they have it. So if they have dampness, then she does more damage with plankton, basically. Or the microplankton specifically do more damage. The DOT. Okay. Passive 1 here, attack and HP the usual, 10%. Special effect, basic attacks from Foo Fighters and the Plankton Colony have 6% chance to inflict 1 stack of microplankton. Okay. And then level 3 is a 10% chance. It's okay. Passive 2 would produce and regenerate. Special attack, Plankton Colony's basic attacks against enemies that are affected by microplankton deal additional damage of 30% of attack and heal itself for 20% of damage dealt. That's pretty nice, so they can heal themselves pretty much. Alright, last one here. Passive 3, my soul's over there. When a Foo Fighter's HP falls below 30%, if the Plankton Colony is still in the battlefield, Foo recalls it and restores 30% of max HP, so she can heal herself with the colony, but she gets rid of the colony. When the Plankton Colony is defeated or recalled, it applies 1 stack of microplankton to all units within 1 tile. Within 1 tile of, I wonder if it's of the colony or of Foo Fighters herself. And then on level 3, she can heal herself up to 40% of her net max HP. And then later, you know, reapply the ultimate and then, you know, spawn in again. So, it's alright. I mean, she could be good. I have to see the actual microplankton, how they work in action. But so far, they seem alright to me. Like, I don't know if I'd say, like, really, really good, but it seems alright. I think it's just more of, like, I'd have to see it in action kind of thing to really tell if like she's really good or not. But at a face value, I think she's all right. I mean, she's cool. All right, last one. Ermi's first tank we've seen all day for like SSR characters. All right, Ermi, what do you do? So I have a lot of HP, a lot of a defense. Weakest attack we've seen so far though, 11k. Stats wise, 100% crit factor, 7% res rate, 700% crit res, block strength 30%, block rate 20%, healing received 10%, hit rate 100%, and then everything else is the same pretty much. Alright, ultimate here. We have 2 versions. Hypersonic Harpoon. Hermes uses her stickers to split her harpoon into 2. She throws one towards an ally's location and then grabs the other harpoon, peeling off the sticker and rapidly approaching the ally. Dashes towards the ally with the lowest HP percentage within 6 tiles, giving them a shield equal to 1,100 of defense, and having an 8% chance to stun enemies within 1 tile for 4 seconds. That seems really good. At level 4, 100% chance to stun, and then 2,400% shield. 4 second stun's quite nice. Yeah, this seems like a really good ultimate. She seems really good. Alright, other one. This is going to be an AoE skill, License for Revenge. Hermes hurls a sticker at an enemy to duplicate them and then rips off the sticker. Strikes the target, dealing a damage equal to 1,200% of her defense to the target and other enemies within 5 tiles in a cone-shaped area in the direction before pulling them toward herself and stunning them for 4 seconds as well. Getting up to a max of 1,800 defense for damage at level 4. Yeah, both of these are really good. You can build it more as a support character to take care of your allies, depending on if you have more like squishier allies that are going to be dealing the damage but might get aggro. Or you can just build her, say, fuck it, more damage and she does stun. What do you think about the story mode? I haven't really played that much of the story mode. I've just been looking through the characters to see what each of these characters do, just to get an idea like who's really good and yeah, just what they do pretty much. Also, she does have 1 range, so she's so far it's melee only. Her first skill here, I say first skill, I only have 1 skill. Duplicated form. Hermes puts a sticker on herself, duplicating part of her body to absorb incoming damage. She gains a shield equal to 600% of her defense for 10 seconds. When the shield expires, Hermes takes 10 damage. I mean, I guess she's technically hurting herself a little bit. Upon casting the skill, gain 2 stacks of defense up. Some more defense. And then, yeah. So basically, you just get a shield and you take a little bit of damage. And you get some defense up when this skill is activated. It's alright. Passive 1 here, Smack. You get defense and HP increase, so not attack this time. Which makes sense because she wants more defense. You gain a shield equal to 400% of defense at the beginning of each battle. That's pretty cool. Okay, so guaranteed shield every single turn. There's no timer on this either, so once this is out, you know, it's out, but then you can reapply this. But this one's only for 10 seconds. And then, this is my stand ability. Second passive. Upon casting the ultimate, gain 2 stacks of damage res. So 10% damage reduction. Okay. For every 1 enemy hit by your ultimate, so this is specifically going off the damage version, you gain a shield equal to 100% of her defense for 10 seconds, and then level 3 you can go up to 200% for every 1 enemy. Okay, not too bad. So that way she can get a little bit more defensiveness going on for herself. Or sorry, ability in this case. Alright, last one. Settle the score with fate. Third passive. Whenever Hermes gains a shield from skill effects, she also grants allies within 2 tiles of her shields equal to 50% of the original shield value. If there are no allies within the target area, Hermes grants the duplicated shield to herself. And then level 3 can go up to 60%. Okay. I mean, she seems pretty good. She seems pretty good. Get survivability from the shield. She can do pretty good damage. She can stun. And then just a bunch of shield. And then she has this like safety net here to protect an ally pretty much with the shield here. Yeah, I'd say she's pretty good. I'd say if I were to like break it down between like an S to like, I don't know, maybe like a C tier kind of thing on tier list, I'd say probably be like S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, maybe like A tier, A tier, A tier, C tier, A tier, then like C tier. Yeah, I'd say probably Prosciutto and then Avdar are like on the weaker side. I haven't seen any other fight characters, so far he's pretty weak at the moment. And then yeah, maybe C tier, maybe B tier. Hermes that feels like is A tier. S tier characters I think are gonna be Diavolo, Bruno, Giovanni, Koichi I think is probably one of the best characters in the game so far. And then this guy's gonna be your best like PvE character. But yeah, not too bad. But for the most part, every character is like pretty good. Like no one's like shit, you know, that I've seen so far. Oh, you can get Foo Fighters from the store. That's cool. You can also buy poles from the store as well. So there's was Santa Banner, Santa Banner maybe. Oh, maybe there's. Hold on. So this is green. So let's say there's gonna be like weapons in this game to pull or cards. Interesting. All right, let's do a multi here.
Good.
No pair. Oh yeah, cocky. Oh, that's not cocky one. I wonder if any of the lower rarity characters are going to be good in this game. In some gacha games, that's the case. Not sure about this one though. Oh, it's Shigechi, Soichi, something like that. Shigechi. Peshi. How much do you need? 2,000 for multi? Okay. % drop rate. 2% drop rate for SSR characters. Random SSR character is guaranteed every 60 pulls. Guaranteed conditions are reset upon recruiting random SSR characters. I have most JoJo games including the Gambler Derby, but not the Gamer Derby. Oh yeah. I mean, it's because I guess he's more popular, you know? The dual... The car dealer one. That's a fuck ton of SR characters. What the heck? That's a lot. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot more kits to look at. Do you have a model? Yeah. Well, let's quickly blitz through these then. Heal one ally, restore HP, 80 energy, damage, 80% chance to stun a target for 2 seconds. Guaranteed stun level 3, more damage. Pleasure 1, increase attack 3. Lockdown. Reduce block rate by 10% for 10 seconds. More energy, increase healing by 10%. Who knows? Okay. Will the game have more star characters? That's. I mean, technically, actually, yeah, no, this is kind of weird. Because usually it would be a little bit more SSR characters than SR characters. But okay, yeah, there's like, damn. It's like what, 7 SSR characters and like 20 like SR characters or something like that. All striker and vampire and zombies deal additional damage. Oh, you know what I just realized? Caesar, and then I guess for any other Hamon characters, right? They're gonna be really fucking good against characters like any featured Dio characters. They're gonna be really good against them because they're gonna do more damage, right? Okay. Wait. I don't know if this is the same, but if I'm reading this right, it says increases shield and healing bonuses by 10%, right? Does that play for the whole team? Because if it does, that's kind of good. If it's for the whole team. If everybody gets extra 10% healing and shield bonus. That's good. That's really good, okay. 50% attack buff to one ally with the highest attack within 5 tiles, and you get 200 energy for them for 3 seconds. No, that's gonna be a total of 600 energy. That's pretty good. Okay. This Zeppeli's actually really good as a support character. For like PvE content, yeah, he's actually really good. This passive is really fucking good. The surf passive. His ultimate's okay. Healing. His skill is alright. Chance to steal, not too bad. Pretty good actually. Lockdown's kind of whatever. This could be really good if it's for the whole team. And this is like the best thing for him. Makes him a really good support character. 50% attack for whoever has the most attack. I mean, it's not AoE, but like, that's still pretty good. A lot of attack right there. Because yeah, Zeppeli's actually quite good. Carcass. Here's assault character. Show target debuff. Imagine killing Vanilla Ice with the with what? It'd be so funny. Target strangles the target with chains, dealing damage of 1500 attack. Inflicting 2 stacks of damage amplification. Following this attack, target has 80% chance to suppress the target. So another stun basically. Okay. Not too bad actually. Stunned pretty good. Pretty good damage actually. You can also increase your damage taken by 10%, so that's pretty cool too. Single target debuff. Change the one farthest enemy within 5 tiles, so he's basically gonna be screwing over anyone that's like a bit of a ranged character. Pulling them toward himself. Dealing damage equal to 520% of attack. Unironically, this could be really good on like PvE content. I mean PvP content. If you have like, if someone's running like a Caesar or whatever, like a ranged character, because you could like position this guy. I mean, I don't know how the position is gonna work. Maybe you can see the positioning beforehand, but if you get lucky, right, you can basically screw over a ranged character because they deal more damage, but the further back they are, so that we can pull them, bring them to your side, and then basically they kind of get getting up on, right, and deal less damage. So that could be pretty good for that. All allies resist resilience by 10% increase. 30% at level 3. Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what resilience does, but the fact that it's giving it to all allies is pretty cool. I mean, maybe it's not that good because I don't know what resilience does. Maybe resilience isn't that good. But that sounds pretty good to me. Oh, I can see right here. Okay, cool. What the fuck is, yeah, what's crit factor? The damage boost ratio when a character deals critical damage. A higher value results in greater damage from critical hits. Crit boost, whenever you do a crit. More multiplier between the attacker's crit boost and the attacker's crit res. For every 100 difference within 3000, critical damage changes changes by 0.5% for every 100 difference. exceeding 1/3000. The critical damage changes by 2% up to a maximum of 90%. Resilience. Resilience reduces the duration of received debuffs by 1%. Okay. So the higher resilience you have, the more you can reduce the cooldown for how long the debuffs are going to last for you. So if it's like a 5-second debuff and you have I don't know, 50% resilience maybe, then that would reduce it by like up to 1.5, I guess, something like that maybe. Okay, so basically just screws over debuffs. That's pretty good then. The higher your block rate is, then you screw over accuracy rate from an enemy pretty much. You don't have a chance to block it. Block strength determines the damage reduction ratio. Okay. Okay, anything else interesting? The hit rate. Characters' attacks to successfully hit a target. Higher value results in greater hit success and fewer missed attacks. Dodge rate, effect hit. It's for like the CC effects, like debuffs and stuff like that. I'm assuming like DOTs as well. The higher the effect reses, the higher you'll be able to be effective. If it's higher than the effect hit, then you'll be able to resist. TP damage reduction, that's simple enough. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good then. You can reduce debuffs with that. Passive 2. Restore 1% of max HP for 3 seconds. Upon dealing damage, you drain 2% of the target's current HP. And if they're bleeding, you get an additional 1% HP. If you kill an enemy, you get 5% of max HP, and then your lifesteal is capped at 40% of this character's attack. Last one here. Tarkus' ultimate executes enemies below 10% HP. Execution damage is capped at 300% of Tarkus' attack. Okay, not bad. Yeah, Tarkus is pretty good too. He's not bad. Okay. Speedwagon, another support character. Deals damage, let's see, so it is a single target skill. Deals damage equal to 100% of attack, then empowers all allies within 3 tiles. Restores 20 energy per second for 10 seconds. Removing 1 debuff from them and grants them shields equal to 60% of his max HP. Okay, not bad. You can empower again, specifically for 1 ally with a skill. With the highest attack within 5 tiles, granting them shields equal to 20% of Spiderwolf's HP, so same thing as his ultimate pretty much. During this period, whenever an enemy is defeated, Speedwagon and his empowered allies, I don't know why it says allies because it says only 1 ally here, he can restore 100 energy. But, I mean, it's pretty good. When Speedwagon is in battle, heals all shielded allies for 2 seconds, restoring HP equal to 4% of his max HP. Okay, not too bad. Restores 100 energy whenever an ally casts their ultimate. That could be pretty good. 200 at level 3. Last passive, after casting a skill, grant 1 stack of attack speed up to all empowered allies. Whenever an empowered ally assists in defeating an enemy, they additionally gain another stack of attack speed up. This can trigger, this effect can trigger up to 2 times. An assist is counted if the target is defeated within 3 seconds of a character dealing damage. Okay, Speedwagon. Yeah, pretty good. We're giving mainly an empowered buff here for energy regen. You're also able to give an attack speed up buff as well. And then you're able to give a little bit of healing and shield and energy. So the main thing is just giving energies to allies, attack speed, well, specifically to 1 ally, right? And then also giving a shield and a little bit of healing. Yeah, not too bad. Speargun skills are based off lines glazing Jonathan. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's gotta be based off something, right? Because it's literally Jojo'S, right? Lisa, Salt character. Ultimate AoE charges in a straight line towards the direction of the enemy farthest away within 4 tiles. then drags all enemies within 2 tiles along the path to the endpoint. Interesting. So basically, any enemies in her path, she'll be pushing them like towards whoever her main target is. Okay. And then dealing 600% damage, and then 80% chance to stun them for 4 seconds. 100% chance in dealing 1000 damage at level 4. Snake Muffler, her skill. She uses her Snake Muffler to leap into mid-air, becoming unselectable for 2 seconds. Okay, something is Diavolo. She gets a shield based off her attack for 3 seconds, and then she appears behind the enemy. Okay. Seems pretty good. She's more of a DPS character so far, but also with a bit of like stage manipulation, or not manipulation, but that's not the right word. Or like she's able to manipulate where like the some of the enemies can be, so because she's able to push them more tiles back basically. She's unselectable. This one, at the beginning of each battle, upon casting a skill, restore 100 energy for one ally with the highest attack. Get a little bit of buff as well. Hamon energy. Deal more damage against vampire zombies. And she also has a shield and healing bonus increase. Kind of whatever. And then Hamon shield. Basic attacks have 35% chance to generate a shield equal to 100% of attack. So she can give herself a shield pretty much. Okay. Yeah, she's okay. The stun's pretty cool. Being able to move targets is pretty cool. And selectable's pretty cool. I need to get on the piss, so I'll be right back, guys. I'm drinking a lot of water. Alrighty, not gonna lie, we streamed for 2 hours. I do want to keep going, but it is almost 7 in the morning and I haven't gone to bed yet. So we'll just try to speed run a little bit more. But yeah, just letting you guys know that might be ending a little bit soon here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like this is cool. The ultimate's cool, skill's cool. The passives are kind of whatever to me. I mean, she's alright, but she's more of like a for sure a DPS character, right? She's more of a DPS character with a little bit of support. Stroheim, he is a defense type character. Ultimate here, single target. Use machine gun, deal damage based off his defense to the nearest enemy within 6 tiles, knocking them back 2 tiles. And then for the next seconds, he can restore his HP equal to 12,000 based off his defense. Adjusts his steel armor and repairs his framework, healing himself 200% of his defense for 5 seconds based off his skill. Defense and max HP increase, gain 3 stacks of defense up at the beginning of each battle. Okay. Upon casting a skill, gain 1 stack of block up. Okay. Once around HP falls below 30%, he becomes stunned for 3 seconds to repair himself. Getting 10 stacks of defense up and healing himself for 200% of his defense per second for 3 seconds. Only one time during battle. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Kind of not that great. I mean, kind of cool, I guess. Kind of funny with the sun thing, but yeah, not really that good of a character. Not really that good. Definitely on the weaker side. All right, Santiago. Let's see. Burrows into an enemy, dealing damage equal to 12,000 of his defense, restoring HP equal to 800% of defense. For every 10% missing HP, increase HP restoration by 5%. AoE. Strikes enemies with his rib blades, dealing damage equal to 500% of defense to all enemies within 1 tile, inflicting 2 stacks of attack down. Increase defense and max HP by 10%. Gain 1 stack of defense up for every 10 seconds. Or every 10 seconds. If the battle is lasted for at least 20 seconds, each trigger grants additional 1 stack of defense up. So every 10 seconds he's getting defense up, defense up, defense up, defense up. And then if it's 20 seconds or more, he's going to be getting 2 defense up. So basically for the first 10 seconds, he's going to have 5% defense up. After 20 seconds, he's going to be able to increase this by every 10 seconds by 1 stack, right? So 20 seconds, 5%, 30 seconds, you know, basically he'll be able to like get up to the max stacks basically after 20 seconds. Next one here. When any unit within 2 tiles is defeated, restores 5% of max HP, increase max HP of 5%. Max HP bonus is capped at 20%. Meat Invade. Upon dealing damage, inflicts 1 stack of Meat Invade. 60% damage of inflictor's attack per 10 seconds for 10 seconds. For each unit in battle affected by Meat Invade, he restores his HP by 1% of his max HP for 2 seconds. That seems okay. Not really that crazy to me. Yeah, he's just okay to me. He's the same thing as like Stroheim, just kind of whatever to me. All right, just a Joestar old version. Another support type character. Joseph reps enemies with Hermit Purple, 80% chance to stun them. The nearest to 1 enemy with 2 tiles for 4 seconds. So 4 seconds stun. After 1 second, Joseph binds enemies within 4 tiles around the initial target, pulling them towards the target by 4 tiles, with 80% chance to immobilize them. So they're unable to move or use displacement skills, but are able to cast other skills and use basic attacks for 3 seconds. The next 5 seconds, if any affected enemies take damage, the other affected enemies also take damage equal to 50% of the original damage taken. Damage transfer triggers one way only and does not circle back. Yeah, that's a really good ultimate. That's a really good ultimate. You get stunned. Any enemies that are nearby get pulled from where the enemy is. They take shared damage. Yeah, that's pretty good to me. That's pretty good to me. Anyone else stuck on gang initiation? I haven't gotten to that part yet. If that's in the story, I've literally have just been spending the 2 hours here just looking at every character's kit. So I'm not too sure. Spirit Photograph. Joseph marks an enemy with Hermit Purples, stacking powers, 80% chance to inflict 5 stacks. 5 stacks of damage amplification, so 50% damage. Oh, okay. I mean, 80% chance, but like that's still, but if you have a level 3, it's guaranteed. That's really good. Okay. On 1 random enemy within 5 tiles and remove their stealth. That's really good too. Okay, this Joseph is looking really fucking good so far to me. He's really fucking good. So you can cuck any stealth characters. because it's guaranteed take away stealth within 5 tiles. And then at level 3, you can guarantee 50% damage increase to an enemy. It is random, but like depending on some cases, right? Like especially if it's like one enemy boss kind of thing. That's really good. That's really good. Okay. Get better with age. He just increases his attack and HP by 10% up to 20%. No other passive. Kind of sucks, but whatever. Unload energy, shield and healing increase. More damage against vampires and zombies. That's kind of it. Thorns Overgrowth. Increase the ultimate damage transfer ratio up to 14%, starting at 6%. So they kind of front-loaded everything of his kit into his ultimate and his skill, and then they didn't really give him anything in his passives, really, to be honest. I guess it makes sense because his ultimate and his skill is pretty fucking broken, not gonna lie. So that's probably why they didn't want to give him too much for his passives, because he's already kind of looking kind of crazy for like just a character. So like, yeah, that kind of makes sense why they didn't really give him too much on his passives, because like he's kind of cracked in his fucking with his ultimate and his skill. So yeah, really good character, really fucking good, really good character. One of the best I've seen so far. Whole Horse. What do you do, buddy? Signal target skill. Whole Horse manipulates bullet trajectories to snipe enemies with precision. 10 shots, 5 seconds. Damage equal to 300% of attack to first enemy along the line between Whole Horse and the target. So it can like pierce, I guess. For every stack of attack speed up, Whole Horse he fires an additional 1 shot. He cannot use basic attacks while channeling, and any CC effects will interrupt his skill. Okay, seems kind of meh. Alright, debuff. Attack mark. After being hit by Whole Horse's attack 3 times, it takes damage equal to 5% of max HP kept at 300% of his attack for 10 seconds. He can penetrate enemies' defense. His attacks against enemies with attack marks penetrate 80% of their defense. Upon landing critical hit on enemy with an attack mark, 25% chance to count 1 hit as attack or for the attack mark to restore 30 energy. It's an okay DPS character. Headshot. 80% AoE damage to within 5 tiles in a straight line. Freezing and chilling enemies. So freezing. Strong CC effect, unable to do anything. Chilling, debuff, reduce attack speed by 30% for 10 seconds. But here it says for 2 seconds. So I'm guessing freezing is for 2 seconds, chilling is for 10. Enhanced state for the next 5 basic attacks deal 300% damage of attack and then 30% splash damage within 1 tile around the target. Enhanced basics do not generate energy, and then he can store up to 5 basic enhanced basics. Casting the ultimate again resets the basic attack charges. Okay, not too bad. He freezes an area the skill, debuff AoE. 100% AoE damage to all enemies within 2 tiles around the target. For the next 5 seconds, inflict 1 stack of frostbite on all enemies within the area for 2 seconds. You deal the attack damage for 10 seconds, up to 10 times stacks. All skills have 20% base chance to chill the target. While this character is in battle, all chilling enemies take 6% more damage. So good on ice teams pretty much. Enhanced basics have 40% chance to inflict frostbite. Splash damage may also work as well. And then regular enhanced basic attacks deal additional damage equal to 20% of attack to chilled enemies. Splash damage may also trigger this effect. Okay, not too bad. Pretty good damage. Got the freezing, chilling debuffs going on. Yeah, not too bad. There are so many more characters to go through. Agile type for Indul here. Dealing damage equal to 80% of attack per second to one random enemy within 2,000 on the target. 800% chance to stun them for 2 seconds. The skill lasts for 3 seconds. He cannot use any basic attacks while channeling. Same thing as Whole Horse. So basically when he's charging up the skill or whatever, if he gets stunned or whatever, he's basically gonna stop. His ultimate gets screwed over. And then the stun goes from... Wait, hold on, what? 2,000 on the target and having an 800% chance to stun them for 2 seconds, but then over here it says increase stun chance to 80%. So I'm guessing this is supposed to say and having a 50% chance to stun them for 2 seconds. Cause why are you just saying 800% chance to stun but then saying increase to 65? Yeah, I think it's supposed to say 50% chance to stun. Yeah, it's okay. Let's see, single target. 320% of attack. If they're not shielded, reduce their energy by 300. Basic attacks deal additional damage equal to 20% of attack to isolated enemies. Removes all enemy stealth and gain 3 stacks of crit up. Okay. Okay. That is, wow. So he can just get rid of everybody's stealth. No matter what. That's good. When his HP goes below 30%, he gets a shield for 5 seconds. 1 time per battle. So the other skills are kind of whatever. I mean, the reduced energy is kind of cool. But the best thing I think is probably the Sand Sonar. Get rid of everybody's stealth. That's pretty good. Yeah, that is pretty good. Shaka. Instantly gains Anubis combat memories and becomes the master of the sword. 5 stacks of attack up, attack speed up, so 50% attack, 50% attack speed for the next seconds, or 10 seconds, I guess. Whenever a Chaka assists in defeating an enemy, he additionally gains stacks of more stacks of attack up and attack speed up, and assisted, okay. And then he gets more stacks of attack and speed up. Okay, not too bad. AoE skill. Chaka unleashes a powerful slash dealing damage equal to 700% of attack and striking other enemies within 1 tile in a cone-shaped area and direction, dealing damage equal to 300% of attack. Following this attack, Chaka inflicts 2 stacks of defense down on all enemies. Hitting an enemy with the basic attack reduces the skill's cooldown by 1 second. Level 2 reduce cooldown to 16 seconds, and then, yeah, okay. It's okay. Basic stat increase. Chaka's attacks have a 50% chance to penetrate 10% of the target's defense. It's okay. Last one here, when Chaka is defeated, and if he's already used his ultimate, the enemy who defeats Chaka becomes confused for 3 seconds and gains 30% bonus to attack and attack speed during this period. Confused forces the target to attack their allies using basic attacks. Okay. In some situations, this would be a really good bait thing. Of course, you'd have to make sure he uses ultimate, but once he pops his ultimate, if he gets killed by like an assassin type character that's like agility based, this could maybe work that way. But then again, if they're like on, you know, your side, they're not really going to be able to reach any of their allies. So this works better if they're like, he's up in the front, right? Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, water dude, Captain Dragon. Alright, what do you got for me, dog? He is another special type character. AoE debuff. Dark Blue Moon creates a vortex and channels for 4 seconds. The damage equals to 200% of attack to all enemies within 3 tiles around the target. And inflict 1 stack of Barnacle. Takes damage equal to 20% of the inflictor's attack for 10 seconds up to 10 times, so 200% max. Captain Dragon cannot use basic attacks and any skills. Yeah, so the same thing, if he gets attacked or CC'd, it stops his ultimate. It's alright. Power Absorption. Single target debuff. A Dark Moon implants barnacles onto the target. You inflict 2 of them, 2 stacks. And if the target already has barnacles, you deal extra damage and then you restore energy by 100. When this character is in battle, increase all allies debuff proficiency by 6% up to 10%. Okay, not bad. Could be good for, yeah, any debuff teams. Passive 2. Every second during the ultimate duration, Captain Dragon has 25% chance to inflict 1 stack of barnacle on a random enemy within the range. Up to 40%. Or, no, up to 45%. Okay. Every 2 seconds during the ultimate duration, deal additional damage equals to 40% of attack to all enemies within range. Yeah, he seems like a pretty good SR character for any debuffing teams that are doing DO2 damage. Because he's able to increase debuff proficiency. He has pretty good debuffs on his own. Yeah, I think he's pretty good for debuff teams specifically. Akira Atoshi, Part 4 character. He is another agility character. At the beginning of each battle, he deploys an invulnerable battery at his location that provides 20 stacks of electricity, increases the character's attack and attack speed by 5% for 25 seconds up to 5 times, so up to 25% attack speed and attack up, which he does 20 stacks, so he hits that max right away. In addition, gain 5 stacks of electricity by default. The Akira loses 1 stack of electricity every 2 seconds during combat when these electricity stacks are depleted. If the battery has any remaining electricity stacks, he retreats to the battery, regains his stacks, 5 stacks. When releasing the skill, Akira deals damage equal to 1200 to 1800 of his attack. The lower the target's energy, the higher the damage dealt. It's not bad, but it's just making him more of a DPS character. Chili Pepper dashes forward or toward the enemy from up to 4 tiles away. Deals damage equal to 340% of his attack. Each stack of electricity enables this attack to deal more damage. Basic attack reduces the target's energy by 40. He does more damage. Whenever he gains a stack of electricity, he heals himself by 5% of his max HP. Upon taking fatal damage, if the battery has any remaining stacks, Akira will not be defeated but instead returns to the battery, absorbs all the remaining stacks. After triggering this effect, Chili Peppers enters an enhanced state, raising its maximum number of electricity stacks to 10. This enhanced state lasts for 6 seconds. This effect cannot trigger if the battery's electricity state is depleted. Triggering this effect consumes all remaining electricity stacks of the battery. He's okay. He's just a DPS character, but like, yeah, I don't know. He doesn't seem that good to me. Keicho Nijimura. Range type. Commands the worst company squad to open fire. Dealing damage to 20% of attack and summons 1 tank from worst company, lasting for 10 seconds. These tanks have portion of Nijimura's attributes at the time of summoning. Automatically seek enemies. Tanks have 80% of Gamora's attributes and can only use basic attacks, doing 100% attack. Damage dealt by tanks does not trigger additional skills. Like, what time did they send you an email? Though they let me know like yesterday, pretty early actually. And then they just sent me one recently, like a little while ago, of like, oh hey, the beta's on. Debuff signal target. Summon one Apache helicopter from the worst company, lasting for 15 seconds. Automatically seek enemies and inflict 1 stack of burn. Okay. 50% of his stats, and then only use basic attack, dealing 50% of attack. Same thing as before. Okay. Thanks so much. Yeah, you're welcome. Increase attack by 1% for each ally on the battlefield. Okay. While casting a skill, grant 1 stack of attack up and attack speed to himself and all summoned allies. Okay. Whenever a worst company squad unit is summoned, it gains a shield equal to 100% of his attack for 5 seconds. This doesn't seem too bad, actually. If you have more fire characters, it could work pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. Seems alright to me. A little bit better than this guy, to be honest, for me. A little bit better than this guy. Alright. Tonio Trendy, another healer character. After the battle begins, he'll click on the battlefield instead of launching basic attacks. In battle, he heals all allies within 3 tiles for 1% of his max HP for 2 seconds. When he does ultimate, he automatically heals within 3 tiles for 30% of his max HP. Permanently boosts his passive HP restoration by 50% for the rest of the battle, up to 2 times, stacking. And then when he's affected by any CC effects, his passive HP restoration is disabled for 3 seconds. Skill, heal 1 ally with the lowest HP percentage within 5 tiles for 20% of his max HP. When this character is in battle, all allies within 3 tiles receive 10% more HP restoration and shield effect. Using a skill ultimate dispels up to 3 debuffs from affected allies. That's kind of good. What the heck? Okay. Up to 5 debuff removal. Okay, this guy's low-key kind of cracked. What the fuck? Up to 5 debuffs at level 3 is actually kind of insane. Upon casting ultimate, restore 20 energy for any affected or for all affected allies for 5 seconds. And passive healing does not restore energy. Up to 40 energy per second. Yeah, this guy's really good as a healer. But the fact that he can remove up to fucking 5 debuffs at level 3 is kind of cracked. For all allies that have a debuff. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, Abacho, tank. There's his stats. He gets a shield. His skill. Deflect incoming damage. He gets a shield. Based off his defense, he gets a block up. Defense up to all allies. 6% chance to gain 1 stack of defense up. HP below 30% immediately gains shield based off 1000% of his defense for 5 seconds, only once every battle. Kinda weak. Kinda weak. Mista, he is a range type. 2 versions of ultimate here. Direct hit. What genre of the game? MOBA, roguelike, auto battler? It's mainly an auto battler, to be honest. You can move, you position your characters a little bit differently, but other than that, it's basically an auto battler. Fires at the target, the damage equals to 12,000% of attack. Penetrates defense. Other version locks onto enemies and fires 6 consecutive shots, each dealing damage equal to 200% of attack to 1 random enemy within 6 tiles. For every 1 enemy defeated by the skill, Mista restores 30 energy. Priorities targets that have not been shot. If all enemies have been shot, Mista will choose targets at random. Eh, not that crazy. Skill here, single target. Deal damage equal to 140% of attack to the nearest enemy. One enemy within 2 tiles and moves away from them by 2 tiles. After remaining stationary for 10 seconds, gains 1 stack of attack up to 5 seconds. Critical hits have 25% chance to penetrate 4% of the target's defense and generate 10 energy. While dealing damage, Mista has 25% chance to inflict N stacks of marked target, where they take more damage from Mista's critical hits for how many seconds. And then Mista's every 4th attack has his hit rate reduced by 10%. Yeah. Same thing, just kind of whatever to me. Not that crazy. Another Ansia, special type. AoE debuff. 2 bombs on all enemies within 2 tiles of target. For the next 5 seconds, deal additional damage equal to 80% of attack to enemies in the area. 60% chance to inflict 1 stack of burn. 100% chance at level 4. Skill AoE debuff. Damage equal to 450% of attack to target enemies within 3 tiles behind the target. Immobilize them for 1 second. He inflicts 2 stacks of damage down, so they deal less damage for all enemies. That's alright. Basic attacks deal additional damage equal to 10% of all of attack to all enemies within 1 tile. Upon dealing damage, it honestly has a 10% chance to suffocate. Unable to enter stealth for 5 seconds. If the target is in stealth, removes their stealth. That's good. I mean, sucks that he can't do stealth himself from what it looks like, but other than that, it seems pretty good. And then when the character is in battle, increase all allies' effect hit rate by 10%, or effect hit by 10% up to 20%. That's really good too. So far, the better of the cast from the main group there. For Magio, he is a agility type. Throws a shrinking card towards the enemy, deals damage equal to 600% of attack to all enemies within 1 tile from the target. 80% chance to stun for 4 seconds. After this attack, all enemies except the primary target are knocked back by 2 tiles. 100% chance and 1000 damage at level 4. Alright, a skill here. Deal damage equal to 200% of attack and having 80% chance to shrunken target for 3 seconds. Shrunken. They can't do anything. Okay. A 90% chance to shrunk them at level 3. Stats. As of 2, 1 HP lost 50%, becomes shrunken for 3 seconds and restores 10% of max HP. Upon triggering this effect, gains stealth for 5 seconds, 1 time per battle. And then while in stealth, restore 100% or 100 energy up to 200 at level 3. It's okay. It's not too bad, but he's okay to me. Zucchini Jotaro. Single target. Here's his target. Oh, he's another agility character. 1000 damage. Breaks the shield, so guaranteed shield breaker. 80% chance to deflate the target. They're unable to take any action. Okay, that's actually kind of broken, not gonna lie. He can guaranteed get rid of shields. And he can basically CC enemies, guaranteed. His skill, it is a single target skill. Jabs the target, dealing damage equal to 560% of attack and remove 1 buff from them. That's also quite good. His passive, increase at the beginning of each battle, enters stealth state for 5 seconds. Not too bad. Whenever he deals damage while he's in stealth, you deal additional damage equal to 10% of attack to target. It's decent. Attacks against deflated enemies have 40% chance to extend the deflation duration by 2 seconds. Up to 60% chance at level 3. Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty good character right there. Melatonin. It does not appear on the battlefield at the beginning of the battle, but instead summons Baby Head and controls it remotely during the entire battle. 100% of his stats automatically seeks targets. When it's defeated, he can recast it to resummon it to the battlefield. Whenever it's on the battlefield, grants it 2 stacks of growth. Increased crit rate by 5%. So 10% crit rate. If there are no other allies in the battlefield, he will flee and after Baby Head is defeated. Baby Head dissolves into fragments, becoming unselectable for 1 second. That's pretty good. When this effect expires, Baby Head disintegrates the target's throat, dealing damage equal to 100% of attack and having 60% chance to silence them. So they can use basic attacks, but they can't use any skills for 3 seconds. At the beginning of each battle, Baby Head enters a stealth state for 5 seconds. During combat, Baby Head gains 1 stack of growth every 5 seconds. So a lot more crit, basically. Whenever Baby Head assists in defeating an enemy, he gets more crit stats. Or crit stacks. And assist discount, okay. When his HP falls below 10%, he goes into stealth for 5 seconds, only 1 time per summon. So this is gonna be a fucking crit monster, basically. Yeah, he's gonna have a fuck ton of crit. Alright, Sekko. Assault type. Debuff. Dashes up to 2 tiles toward the target. Makes all enemies within 2 tiles grounded. So they're stuck there. CC. For 6 seconds. Moreover, Sekko has 80% chance to inflict 3 stacks of block down. The grounded enemies cannot escape Sekko's ultimate area. All grounded effects are removed when Sekko is defeated. 100% chance at level 4. Skill AoE debuff. Liquefies ground, dealing damage equal to 60% of attack to enemies within 1 tile and inflict 3 stacks of defense down. Seems okay. Death from underground, passive 1. When HP falls below 30%, immediately can gain a shield equal to 30% of his max HP for 100 seconds. 1 time per battle. After remaining stationary for 3 seconds, gain 1 stack of attack up for every 2 seconds. When casting a skill, for every 1 enemy hit, he gains a shield equal to 100% of his attack. Next 5 seconds after unleashing the ultimate, Sekko deals damage equal to 100% of attack per second to all enemies within 2 tiles and heals himself for 10% of damage dealt. The ultimate is nice for the grounded effect, but other than that, he's just kind of more self-sustaining for healing himself, shielding, a little bit of a buffing, but that's kind of it. I mean, if he did something where he also increases their damage dealt when he grounded them, he'd be really good, but otherwise he seems kind of like decent. But definitely way better though than some of the other characters. Not too bad. Gelato, defender, freezes the moisture in the air, turning into ice crystals around him. For the next 10 seconds, his allies within 2 tiles take 20% less range damage. That's really good. When attacked, the affected allies deal retaliation damage equal to 4% of his defense to the attacker. Gives all allies 3 stacks of block up. Even when an ally leaves the area, the damage resistance bonus against range attacks and retaliation effect will persist for 1 second. skill AoE debuff. Raises enemies on ice blocks or in ice blocks, dealing 400% damage based off his defense. The enemies within 1 tile in a cone-shaped area in the direction of his target with a 60% chance to chill on them. Following this attack, Gelato inflicts 1 stack of attack down and chill to enemies within the skill area. Take 10% less damage from ranged units. If this attacker's attack is lower than this character's defense, the character takes 40% less damage. That's kind of good. Every second, Gelato has a chance to inflict chill on enemies within his range, I guess. Upon dealing damage, Gelato has 10% chance to freeze the target for 2 seconds. If the target is affected by chill, increases freeze chance to 30%. Can only happen every 5 seconds for each enemy. In Ice Team, he's really good. In general teams, he seems okay. Really good against ranged characters though. So if you're fighting against like a really like range heavy team, he'd probably be a pretty good pick to put on the team. JJBA, another range character. Single target. Channels for 3 seconds before unleashing a devastating shot, dealing 1,600 attack. No basic attacks. And then any CCs will interrupt him. When he's defeated, the skill is interrupted and 50% of consumed energy will be returned to JJBA if the target is defeated while he's channeling. Interesting, okay. So if his target is killed, he gets 50% of his energy back, but his skill, he stops doing his ultimate. And then if he gets CC'd while he's doing his ultimate, that also stops it. Max damage of 2000% of his attack. Deploys manhandle and transfer to the furthest enemy within 10 tiles and enhances the next basic attack, enabling it to deal damage equal to 200% of attack. Every 3 basic attacks enhance the next basic attack, enabling it to deal damage equal to 280% of attack. When attacking enemies within n tiles of man transfer, JJBA only needs 2 basic attacks to trigger an enhanced attack. When attacking enemies within 1 tile of manhandle transfer, gain a 6% crit rate bonus and ignore the target's stealth effect. If this is a target hits a target and dispels the target's stealth. Up to 10% crit rate bonus. Shortens the ultimate channeling time to 1.5 seconds. Honestly, even though he's a DPS character, I think he's probably one of the better DPS characters in the game. Just because the fact that his thing will do damage and target whoever is the furthest back. He can get rid of stealth. And he does a lot of damage with his ultimate. Plus he gives us a lot of crit rate. The only downside is that he does need channeling. To like, you know, he does need to like charge it up. But if you level this up to level 3, he only needs 1.5 seconds to charge up his ultimate, and then he'll just shoot it. So, one of the better characters in the game for DPS, I think, in my opinion. He's single target, right? But like, I think he's really good. Alright, last 4 characters that we're just gonna look at. Alright, Viviano, he's an assault type character. I am the strongest, AoE debuff. Strikes the target, getting 8% chance to stun them for 2 seconds. Then strike all enemies within 2 tiles, dealing damage equal to 600% of attack and inflicting 5 stacks of block down. 100% chance to stun at level 4. His skill, single target, summons a meter, dealing 360% of attack. If the target is burning, deal more damage. Upon casting a skill, gain 3 stacks of attack up. Upon dealing damage of any skill, he gains a 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of burn and effect res down on the target, up to 40%. After casting 3 skills, the next skill additionally strikes 1 random enemy within 2 tiles, dealing damage equal to 360% of attack. This effect may strike the same enemy multiple times. And then with the 3 levels here, you only need to do 1 skill to do this. And then also the damage gets increased to 440. He's DPS focused, but he's kind of whatever to me. Not that crazy. Alright, Kenzo here. He's a healer character, support type. Debuff, ultimate. Locates the target's unlucky spot through Dragon's Dream Guidance, inflicting 5 stacks of block down an unlucky spot. Increases the character's damage taken by 10 for 10 seconds. But it doesn't say by how much. But going by the levels here, increase damage bonus from unlucky spot to 45%. So 30% of base, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's not too bad. Yeah, because if it's 30% damage dealt increase, I mean, that's pretty good. Single target skill. Strikes the target with hand strike, dealing damage equal to 150% of attack and having 80% chance to silence them. It's pretty good for 3 seconds. When this character is in battle, increase all allies' critical rate by 6% up to 10%. Okay, that's really good. That's really nice. Upon casting the ultimate, reduce the target's crit res rate by 5% up to 15%. That's also quite good. So he's like a crit support character. When HP falls below 30%, locates his own lucky spot, restoring 10% of his max HP per second for 3 seconds, only 1 time per battle. Yeah, he's a really good crit support character. So pretty good. Alright. Sports Max. He is a assault character. AoE debuff. Raises 3 corpses to join the battle and attack enemies, so he can summon zombies. Deals damage equal to 120% of attack per second to 3 random enemies within 3 tiles, and 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of defense down. Sports or stores 50% 50 energy if his skill assists in defeating any enemy. And okay, so he just raises 3 zombies and deals some damage and AoE damage, and he can apply some defense down. His skill, single target debuff. But did it release the public? Nah, it's only the CBT right now. Raises an invisible crocodile corpse to attack enemies, dealing damage equal to 40% of attack per second to the target and inflict 2 stacks of defense down. The crocodile corpse lasts for 5 seconds. Yeah. I will eat your brains. Yeah, upon dealing damage with the ultimate, Sports has 12% chance to inflict 1 stack of damage amplification. I mean, it's good, but 1 stack at 12% chance up to 20% chance, not really the best. Upon dealing damage, Sports has 12% chance to inflict bleed, 20% chance max, so it's okay. Upon taking fatal damage, he doesn't leave the battle immediately, but becomes unselectable for 6 seconds. And then he leaves the battlefield once this effect expires. I guess this could be good if you pop the ultimate, have his 3 zombies out, and then he's just going to be chilling there for 6 extra seconds, up to 10 seconds level 3. But yeah, overall, not that really that crazy to me. Lang Wrangler, another support character. Debuff ultimate. Spits at an enemy, creating a 0 gravity zone centered on the target within 1 tile for 10 seconds. All enemies within this zone take 30% more damage from ranged attacks. That's really good. Enemies with that remain in the zone for over 3 seconds are stunned then for 2 seconds. And the range damage bonus can go up to 45%. That is already really, really good off the bat. His skill here, single target. When enemies exist within 2 tiles, launches components against 1 closest enemy, dealing damage equal to 200% of his attack, and moves 2 tiles away from the target. That's just kind of whatever, just damage. His passive here, upon entering battle and casting the ultimate, grant 1 stack of attack speed up to all allies, up to 3 stacks at level 3. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see, next passive, 0 gravity zone expands outward by 1 tile after 4 seconds. Reduces the delay before zone expansion to 3, then to 2. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty good. Helps out with his ultimate here to give a bigger range, so that's pretty good. This last one here, vacuum suffocation. Unshielded enemies in the zero gravity zone lose 30 energy per second. That's quite good. When hit by ranged attacks, they take additional damage equal to 20% of the attacker's attack. So this guy's gonna be really, really good with ranged teams, dealing a lot of damage with ranged DPS characters. So he's another really good character thrown on the team. And then the rest is just our characters, which I don't think are going to be that crazy. I'll just take a quick peek and see if anyone's interesting here. No one else here. Kind of whatever. Alright, what about this shit? Another support character. Pulls the target towards it by one tile 3 times per second. The enemy remains stunned throughout this duration. For this enemy within 6 tiles 3 times. Okay. He restricts their movement, stuns them for 1 second. 100% energy restoration at the start of the battle. If he takes damage while he's charging up his ultimate, 10% of the damage he takes is transferred to the target of his ultimate. Up to 20%. Okay. That's actually not that bad. Actually, low-key, kinda not too bad, actually. Luca here. Damage. Reduction of skill cooldown. Some crit up. Attack up. Yeah, it's whatever. Squallow. Silence, he has to charge up the ultimate though. Reduce enemies' energy by 200. Okay. Ultimate drags the target towards Squallow. 1 tile up to 3 tiles. Okay, not too bad. So here he is a ranged character. Damage, he has to charge up his stuff. You get to immobilize the target by 2 seconds. %30 chance up to 50% chance to incapacitate an attacker. Within 2 tiles every 5 seconds. He can resist displacement. That's kind of good, actually. Okay. Move forward. Damage. AoE damage. Reduce cooldown. He can heal himself. He can afflict bleed. Or no, if the target has bleed, he can get more HP back. And then he can afflict up to 8, but starting with 4 stacks of defense down with his ultimate here. Yeah. Straight so agility, AoE damage, straight line, 4 tiles away. Each hit reduces the damage dealt by 50% down. Based off his attack. Dashes towards the target up to 4 tiles away, dealing damage. He gets crit up. More healing, bleed. If they have bleed, he gets more healing basically. When fighting Hamon Master, Straiso is immune to additional damage caused by Hamon energy effects. So he's immune to Hamon. When attacking or being attacked, Shirito has a 10% chance to restore 40 energy. That's a cool little gimmick, but I mean, it's kind of useless besides that. A Rubber Soul Defender. AoE whenever yellow temperance. 30% damage based off his attack for 10 seconds, 10 stacks, so 300% max. He flicks 1 stack. Deals damage equal to 4% of his defense to all enemies within 2 tiles, and he flicks another stack. Absorbs all yellow tempered stacks from enemies within 2 stacks. Each stack absorbed heals himself based off his defense. Okay. Oh, he has melee damage resistance. Okay. Whenever an enemy with yellow tempers is defeated, he heals himself. And now, whenever yellow temperance deals damage, he heals his Rubber Soul for 30% of his damage dealt. I need to get another piss, so I'll be right back. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, honestly, yeah, this guy's kind of whatever. A lot of healing for himself, but other than that, it's kind of whatever to me. Our version of Shigechi. He is a special type. AoE. He summons his creatures from his stand. Deal damage within 3 tiles and reduce energy. Launch attacks. Single target. More damage. He has a 8% chance to inflict 1 stack of bleed and affect res down up to 12%. Eh. Too low. Too low for it to really matter that much, I think. Really looked at Beshi. 2 more. Angelo. He is a special type. Debuffer. He can inflict dampness. 60% chance to inflict dampness. 100% at level 4. Single target skill. For 3 swift hits, dealing damage at 200% each one. Okay. All attacks against enemies with dampness deal more damage based off the target's missing HP. Upon dealing damage, Angelo deals additional damage equal to 20% of attack to enemies with dampness within 2 tiles. So far, he's the only character that applies dampness, which is kind of funny because there's another character who was like, oh, if they have dampness, deal more damage, which, who was it again that was like that? There's one character that was like, if they have dampness, deal more damage. I forgot who it was though. Was it you? Okay, yeah, it was Foo Fighters, yeah. So if you run Angelo and Foo Fighters together, she can take advantage of his ultimate for the dampness to deal more damage. If you want to go down that route. Last one, Gues. Steel target. 4,000 attack. Inflict Shrunken. When Glass is affected by any CC, all shrunken effects by her will be removed. Alright, her skill here, single target. Smites the target with a bench, dealing 200% damage. Whatever. Attacks against all attacks against shrunken enemies deal more damage. And then for one attack from a shrunken enemy on Gues, within 10 seconds, then it takes damage equal to 40% of Gues' attack. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. So it was only like, what was it? Just like, I think 1-2 characters that are really good from the R tier. And then most of the SR characters are pretty good. I'd just say this guy's kind of mid. These two are kind of whatever. This guy's pretty whatever. These two are actually pretty good. This guy's whatever. This guy's whatever. Mr. Baku's pretty mid. This guy's pretty good. This guy's pretty whatever. This guy might be kind of good. This guy's kind of good. The bird's not too bad. Basically every support's pretty good actually, for the most part. This guy's pretty trash. Storm's pretty trash. Joseph's really cracked. I'd say he might be one of the best characters in the game. Probably one of the best SRs for sure. A whole horse is pretty trash. Lisa's decent. But yeah, I mean, old man Joestar's like really good. Alrighty, that took a fucking hot minute. It's an in-game chat as well. Everybody making the same meme. Okay. There we got that. Change my name here. What settings looking like? Game graphics. It's the ultra. Collectible storage. All Trials Arena. Alrighty. You can do a little bit more. But yeah, at least for the whole stream, we basically saw every single character's kit from for the CBT. So it looks like there's only 2 speed. I'll swap with this. So like that. Man, it looks so crazy right now. It moves so fast. Keep fighting for 30 seconds. Our battle is now available. Oh my gosh, is he gonna put his tongue on his cheek? It's just like the anime.
涙目のルカに会わなかったかい？いいえ、知りません。汗をかかないね。よし、信じよう。質問は以上だ。邪魔したな、ジョルノ・ジョバーナ。
Doesn't he juke him out? He's like, he's still there.
Luka の右目だぜ。どうせ意識がねえんだから持ってきたんだ。この味は嘘をついてる味だぜ。ジョルノ・ジョバーナ。おやおやおやおや。質問は以上だと言ったが、状況が変わってきたな。ジョルノ・ジョバーナ、お前は嘘を言った。じゃあなぜ嘘をつくのか。その理由を聞かせてもらわなくてはならなくなったってわけだな。
I wonder if we're gonna see like the other parts in the story. I'm a little scared there because I'm like, damn, Bruto's fucking taking so much damage. That was close. Almost died.
Are
you lucky?
ちょっとしたつまらない賭けをしてくれませんか。Good.
Push. Oh, I think we got something. Oh, did we get something? Someone gold? Oh, we did. Oh shit! All right. You're the pickle guy. Chicoloda. That early SSR. Everything I was looking for, but this is new, I guess. While I log in. Premium check-in gifts. No, a whole bunch of different things here.
Yosh.
You get a new producer and minister new shit. I don't know. I got lucky, I guess. Yeah. CBT. I like it very much. I mean, I technically read like here. I see like everything. My favorite character. I show this later. I don't know. So what are the other questions? It's pretty close so far. Ooh, that's a lot of questions. Yeah, I'm gonna do this later. That's a little too many questions for me right now. $10 pack, $5 pack. No battle passes. An event? Character giveaway. A lot of Giornos in here. Another free Giorno, some summons. Oh, for more free pulls for clearing the story. A lot of pulls. Gear. And the rebate system. For 60, you got another 60. I thought they said it was 200% though. But over here it says 100%. Sus. 40 pulls off the bat, damn. Also, be lucky.
私とちょっとしたつまらない賭けをしてくれませんか。グッド。ライフルは骨です。それは信用できる固定だ。俺の名はフォルマジュ。
ジョンゴリエ。
またのご来店お待ちしてます。
ファイトクラブだ。かかってこい。名前は音石明19歳。ま、このギターは
No, there's one that's like a ton of SR characters. Oh, we don't have to go through the animation again? Oh, got another SSR character. Oh, Abdal, okay. As the GOAT. And then just Joestar. There you go, Joseph and Abdal. Alrighty. Well, I thought that's gonna do it for us for stream for today though, because like it is late and I need to go to bed, but pretty cool so far. Pretty fun game. Excited to explore more and see what other goodies this game has to offer. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. They're kind of weird though for the top up because it says 100%, but then on Twitter it was like 200% bonus or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably buy some of this stuff. See some of the bonus when the game goes live. But yeah. That being said, I think I'm gonna head on out. That's cool. Let's change the background too. Alright, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace and take care, everybody.